Okay, so now let's try to remember what is a database. Now I won't go into a full comprehensive course about database because now we are going to discuss about Spring Database module. If you want to go into detail, I will post a link in the description. I also have some videos about Postgres, and this is the database that we are going to use, Postgres, and here and there you have also a link on how to install it, how to install pgadmin, and so on. But just to refresh a little bit of our memory, a database is a collection of organized data. So we want data to be organized and structured. Now there are two types of databases. There is a relational database, which is one example is Postgres SQL, Microsoft SQL, MySQL, and these types of databases have relationships. The tables can have relationships between one another. The other type is non-relational database like MongoDB, Cassandra, but we won't focus on that. We will use a relational database and we will use Postgres. So what relational database means that the tables can be linked to one another. They can have relationship between one another. And now let's try to remember what types of relationship we can have in a database. We can have many to one. As I said, a sub-department can have only one department. So this is a many to one, because on the other side, a department can have multiple sub-departments. So this is one to many. So the department is the parent and the sub-department is the child in the relationship. And this kind of things we can design on a database level. Now we can also have like one-to-one. For example, we can have a people table and we can have like another table, people details, where we have like comprehensive details about peoples, like phone number, identity, card, credit number, and so on. This is a one-to-one relationship, and we will also have many-to-many, which is the most complex one and maybe the most difficult one to understand at first, but it's not so difficult when you design a few of them. And this is where multiple entities can have multiple entities, like we will have in our application, the relationship between people and departments, because a people can belong to multiple departments and a department can have multiple peoples. And this kind of things you can have in a relational databases by using primary keys and foreign keys. And just to refresh our memory, primary keys is like a special column where it's a unique identifier of that particular record. It can't be null. It should be not null, and it's like a number which you will auto increment 1, 2, 3, 4, which basically represents the unique identifier of that particular row. And foreign keys, on the other hand, a table can have multiple foreign keys. Foreign key is like a constraint which you apply to a column, which basically will reference the primary key of other tables. And we'll see this in action. And if you are familiar with database, you know what I am talking about. And a foreign key can be null, does not have to be unique, and a table can have multiple foreign keys. For example, a people table can have a foreign key like sub-department ID and also a foreign key like department ID. And this foreign key will reference the primary key in that particular table where you store that relationship. So this is just a refresh of the core concepts of the database. And now let's try to understand what is JPA and Hibernate, because this is what we will use. So these are like theoretical videos, and then we will go into coding, but it's important for us to understand the terminology which we'll use and all these kind of things, because we will use this in our module and also in all of your application which we will build using Spring, and not just Spring, because this is not related to Spring. This is database stuff.